What's up, baseball fans? So we continue on with our positional rankings for 2020, and we're on our last position in the infield, shortstop. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Coming in at number 10, I have Correa Turner. Let's start this list with the defending World Series champion, Correa Turner, who I don't think gets enough credit considering he's averaged a 3.6 wins above replacement since 2016. In 2019, he hit .298 with 19 homers, 57 RBIs, an on base of .353, a slugging of .497, an OPS of .850, and a WRC plus of 117 that ranked 7th among all shortstops. He also stole 35 bases, which ranked 5th in all of baseball. As for the defense, he is a little weaker in that department, giving up 1 run defensively, along with a -8 UZR. If the defense can be tightened up, Turner can absolutely shoot up this list. At number 9, I have Corey Seager. Next up on this list is Corey Seager, and I feel like he gets a bad rap. Sure, he's not the same Corey Seager that posted a 6.9 wins above replacement back in 2016, and he was hurt for most of 2018, but he's still a very good player, and a solid 2019 campaign showed that. He hit 19 homers with 87 RBIs, along with a .335 on base and an .818 OPS overall. Defensively, he did have a -1.5 UZR, but for the year, he saved 2 runs. Overall, Seager is still a player that can make any team better. At number 8, I have Gleyber Torres. Next up is the young Yankees shortstop who actually played a lot of second base last year as well when Didi Gregorius came back from injury. But in 2020, it's looking like he'll be handling the position on a full-time basis. Offensively, he's solid, hitting 38 homers, which ranked 1st among all shortstops. To go with the homers, he hit .278, 90 RBIs, a .337 on base, a .535 slugging, and an .871 OPS that ranked 4th among shortstops. The defense is a tad shaky, giving up 1 run defensively, along with a -2.1 UZR. If he can tighten up the defense just a little bit, he could easily be a top 5 shortstop in the near future, which is crazy considering he's only 23 years old. At number 7, I have Carlos Correa. Up next is the former number 1 pick, Carlos Correa, who was limited to 75 games in 2019 due to injury, and has actually been dealing with injuries for some time now, only averaging 112 games since 2016. However, since 2016, he's still been one of the most productive shortstops, averaging 20 homers and 74 RBIs a season. In less than half a season in 2019, he hit 21 homers with 59 RBIs, along with a .358 on base, a .568 slugging, a .926 OPS that ranked 4th among shortstops. He also posted a 143 WRC plus that ranked 3rd among shortstops. His defense was also solid, saving 7 runs defensively that ranked 11th among shortstops. On the other hand, it's also fair to consider the cheating scandal. With that already on his back, along with trying to stay on the field, the next few years will be really interesting for Correa. At number 6, I have Paul DeJong. At number 6 is a guy that I don't think gets nearly enough attention, and that's one of the best defenders in the game, Paul DeJong. Let's start with the defense. He saved 26 runs, which ranked 3rd in baseball, and an 11.4 UZR that ranked 5th. As for the bat, he's not as strong, but there are some good things. Overall for the year, he hit .233 and only had an on base of .318, but he did hit 30 homers that ranked 7th among shortstops, and he drove in 78 runs. Overall, DeJong would be a very valuable shortstop on any team, especially with that glove. At 26 years old, he still has plenty of time to build more consistency with the bat. At number 5, I have Javier Baez. Entering the top 5, we have the MLB The Show 20 cover man, Javier Baez. It's not a coincidence he was on the cover either, as he had a very solid 2019. His on-base was a bit low, only at .316, along with a WRC plus of 114 that only ranked 15th among shortstops. However, he did have a solid .281 average, along with 29 homers that ranked 8th and 85 RBIs. However, like DeJong on the Cardinals, Baez has a very solid glove. He saved the same amount of runs as DeJong, 26, which ranked 3rd in baseball, and he had a 10.0 UZR, which ranked 9th. Overall, Baez is just a solid player, and there's a reason he's the face of the Chicago Cubs. At number 4, I have Trevor Story. I feel like sometimes Trevor Story only gets remembered for his historic run in 2016 when he hit a National League rookie record 27 homers. He also fell 3 short of Nomar Garciaparra's major league record of 30 before going down with a thumb injury of August that year. However, since 2016, he's averaged almost a 4 wins above replacement and has had at least a 5.1 wins above replacement the last 2 seasons. In 2019, he had his best season, posting a 5.8 wins above replacement with a 294 average, 35 homers, 85 RBIs, a 363 on base, a 554 slugging, and a 917 OPS that ranked second among shortstops. However, with Story, he did have a 121 WRC plus due to Coors Field, and that feels right due to the fact that he didn't play nearly as strong on the road as he did at home, hitting 260 and 11 homers on the road compared to 328 and 24 homers at home. In fact, he's always been much better at home in his career, hitting 301 with 79 homers at home compared to hitting 250 and 44 homers on the road. However, his defense is some of the best in all of baseball. In 2019, he had 14 defensive runs saved, which ranked 4th among all shortstops, and a UZR of 8.6 that ranked 3rd. Overall, Story is one of the most solid shortstops in the league. Even though Coors Field has held him back a little bit in stats, you can't deny the fact that he's one of the best in the game. At number 3, I have Xander Bogaerts. Oh, here come the bias comments. Coming in at number 3 is Xander Bogaerts, who had his best season to date in 2019, compiling a 6.8 wins above replacement that ranked 8th in baseball. That comes in large part from his offense. He had a stat line of 309, 33 homers, 117 RBIs that ranked 7th in baseball, and an on-base of 384, a slugging of 555, and an OPS of 939. He also had a WRC plus of 141 that ranked 1st among all shortstops. What holds me back though from putting Bogaerts higher on this list is the defense, which is actually kind of confusing. Bogaerts has always been known as a below average defender, and this season he had negative 14 defensive runs saved. However, he did have a decent UZR of 1.1, along with a defensive rating on Fangraphs of 8.1 that ranked 13th among all shortstops. So when you put all of this together, along with my eyes watching him, I think he has improved a lot on defense in recent years, but it could still use some improvement. Alex Cora himself said his first step needs to be improved, as well as turning double plays more efficiently. Overall though, if Bogaerts can keep improving on the defense combined with his awesome offense, he could easily be number 2 or even number 1 on this list. At number 2, I have Marcus Semien. Coming in at number 2 is someone who had a heck of a breakout season in 2019, and that's Marcus Semien. To be honest though, it's not like Semien came out of nowhere. In 2018, he had a wins above replacement of 3.8, along with some of the best advanced defensive stats in baseball. In 2016, he had 27 homers and 75 RBIs. It was 2019 though where he really put it all together. For the year, he hit 285 with 33 homers, 92 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, a 369 on base, a 522 slugging, and an OPS of 892. He also had a WRC plus of 137 that ranked 2nd among shortstops. Another thing to take note of is Semien had really good numbers at home in a picture-friendly Oakland Coliseum, where he hit 292 compared to 277 on the road, and an OPS of 928 at home compared to 857 on the road. It wasn't just the offense that was top-notch though, it was the defense as well. He had 12 defensive runs saved that ranked 5th among shortstops, and a 6.7 UZR that also ranked 5th among shortstops. If he can show at least close to this kind of production this upcoming year, he could easily be number 1 on this list. And at number 1, I have Francisco Lindor. And coming in at number 1 on this list is a man we're all too familiar with, especially this past offseason with all the trade rumors, and that's Francisco Lindor. Simply put, he's one of the best overall players in the game. His offense in 2019 was down a tick from 2018, but it was still very good. He hit 284 with 32 homers, 74 RBIs, and an on-base of 335, a slugging of 518, and an OPS of 854. As for the defense, it was still stellar in 2019. He had 11 defensive runs saved, which ranked 7th among shortstops, along with a 6.4 UZR that ranked 6th. In the end, Francisco Lindor holds on to the top spot here, but if his numbers dwindle further in the next year or two, we could start to see him slide down this list. So that's my list. Tell me down below in the comments what you think. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.